Analysts are predicting further interest rate hikes this year, and many people are asking whether they should fix the interest rate on their bond repayments. You are in the industry.
Yeah.
What would you suggest? What are the advantages of fixing the interest rate on your bond?
So the biggest advantage is certainty. So, you know, for a family or a consumer who's worried about fluctuations in interest rates, they can only afford so much on a monthly basis. They want to plan ahead and make sure that that interest rate increases don't catch them out. Then fixing a rate makes sense. You know, you know exactly what it will be, and you can fix it for a period of time. Generally, banks allow you to fix it for 1 year, 2 year, or 5 year periods. The problem with fixing rates often is that the banks have got much cleverer people in their banking institutions than the average consumer out there. They're there to make a profit, and when they fix the rates on fixed rate home loans, they generally do it to still make a profit. So effectively the rate that you pay over and above what you would normally pay is generally quite a bit higher. So on average at the moment, if you want to fix your rate for 2 years, you're probably paying an extra % of interest rate now than you would if you had a variable rate, which is fine if interest rates go up by more than a %.
But if they don't?
But they don't, then you're paying more effectively. And as I say, those clever actuaries in the banks have worked out, you know, where they think interest rates are going, and they fix rates accordingly. So generally it's great for planning purposes. If the banks have got their calculations right, you're probably not going to be any better off financially over the period of time.
There has been a lot said on trends in the residential market, trends in residential home loans. Have you come across any particular trend?
So we're definitely seeing in the real estate market at the moment problems with stock and availability of stock. So there's less properties on the market than there were a while ago, and that's a function of a few things. So there hasn't been a lot of development, new developments, and not a lot of new properties that have been come onto the market in the past, 5 or 6 years. There's been quite an increase in demand as people move up the property ladder, and especially new home buyers. So about 55% of the bonds that we're seeing at the moment are people are first-time home buyers, and they taking up a lot of the stock. So, you know, a first-time home buyer, unlike a buyer who buys a property and sells a property, doesn't put new stock onto the market. Effectively, they're just absorbing stock. So we have this problem where a lot of new home buyers, not a lot of new development or new supply coming onto the market, and as a result, you know, prices are getting driven up because demand exceeds supply, and there's stock problems out there. So that is going to drive prices higher, which also affects affordability, unfortunately, because if your property prices are going up quicker than your salary, it means that you have to keep buying a lower property value than potentially what you could have afforded, you know, a year ago or so.
What is your take on the bond origination stance in the market? Are things looking good? Are things looking good for bond originators?
So I think the consumer proposition is brilliant. You know, we shop around for you, find you the best deal. It's free service to the consumer because the bank pays us a commission for every deal we place them. So from a consumer perspective,
why shouldn't they be using a bond originator?
It's a no-brainer. I mean, I almost fail to understand why someone wouldn't. Clearly, I'm in the industry, so I'm biased. But
slightly,
yeah. But it makes so much more sense than just going to your own bank. So I think from a consumer perspective, you know, originators are there to stay. We've been around for 15 years, and I think we continue to provide a great offering to the consumer.
Thank you so much for coming into the studio today, Reese. I have certainly learned a lot more about bond origination than what I knew, and hopefully we'll continue this conversation sometime in the future.
Thanks, Mashfiq. Appreciate the time.